A group of archaeologists sweats in the desert heat near the biblical city of Tel Beersheba. They hope to preserve the secrets of this ancient settlement in modern-day Israel for many future generations as they dig. But what they found were truly amazing remnants of a top-secret technology that may have been one of the first of its kind. Experts discovered evidence of extremely advanced secret technology while excavating an ancient biblical city. The group of experts from a variety of Israeli institutions has been digging beneath Navel, a 1950 settlement south of the modern city of Beersheba, for years. However, despite the neighborhood's relative modernity, its foundations are significantly older. The archaeologists have also discovered some startling things among these. The team discovered evidence of a technology that was once among the world's most advanced in a workshop that dates back 6,500 years. So advanced that it would go on to transform human life on Earth, but at the time, it was a closely guarded secret known only to a very select few. So why was this groundbreaking new technology so important that it was kept under wraps for generations? And why did it emerge here when the gasoline culture was thriving in this part of the Middle East? Now the archaeologists have released the results of their study, and the surprising truth has finally been revealed. Amazingly, this discovery at Beersheba is believed to date back to the Chalcolithic period, an era that began about 6,500 years ago. But the first written mention of the city occurs in the Bible, where it is described as the home of the three patriarchs. According to Genesis, it is where some of the most pivotal events in the founding of Judaism took place. While these important events were playing out, however, the inhabitants of Tel Beersheba remained ignorant of the even older treasures beneath their feet, and eventually, the city became little more than a forgotten settlement on the fringes of ancient Palestine. Then in the 4th century, the region came under the control of the Byzantine Empire, and things began to change. With this power shift, Tel Beersheba became a significant city, once more forming part of the empire's defenses against tribes from the Negev desert. Then in the 7th century, it was all but reduced to rubble as Arab invaders over wide portions of Western Asia around the eastern shores of the Mediterranean Sea. Forsaken by its inhabitants, it was left to fade into obscurity once more. Eventually, in the 16th century, the Ottomans conquered Palestine, and a new empire rose to power in the region. But these rulers also had little interest in Tel Beersheba, leaving it to serve as a meeting place for the nomadic Bedouins of the nearby desert. Would they have acted differently, perhaps had they known about the ancient secret lurking under the city as it was? The Ottomans waited more than 300 years before attempting to develop Tel Beersheba in line with the rest of their empire. And as the 19th century came to a close, a police station was constructed. Soon after came roads, new dwellings, and an attempt at urban planning. What would become modern-day Beersheba was slowly taking shape. Still, none of this work would uncover what shocked archaeologists would later find any progress in the region was brought to an abrupt halt, though, as the effects of World War I began to spread out across the globe. In 1917, British forces invaded modern-day Beersheba as part of their efforts to conquer Syria and Palestine. And the following year, the next chapter in the life of this tumultuous city began from 1918 until 1948. Beersheba was part of what was known as Mandatory Palestine, overseen by the British. The city served as an administrative hub as well as the backdrop for much political tension. As Jewish settlers arrived in the region, the Arab inhabitants protested against the loss of their lands, and often, tensions escalated into violence on the city streets. Eventually, a large proportion of the Jewish immigrants left Beersheba, although many later returned when the State of Israel was established in 1948. And while the settlement of the region remained controversial, the city began to develop at a breakneck pace. But it would be another 70 years before anyone would discover the secret hiding underground. At that time, the neighborhood of Navel was founded in a spot outside what is now known as the Old City, originally consisting simple cottages built from stone. It became a popular destination for immigrants arriving from Tunisia and Morocco. But its story began much longer ago, with a settlement dating back to the Chalcolithic era. During this period, which lasted for about 700 years, a culture known as the Gizli emerged, centered on the southern Levant. Its influence stretched across parts of what is now Palestine, Jordan, and Israel. And it also left its mark on the valley, where the city of Tel Beersheba would develop a creative and artistic people. The guests' millions used stone tools to forge metal into fine objects. And at the same time, they learned how to cultivate grapes for wine, produce beautiful pottery, and constructed dwellings underground. But the most impressive skill belonging to this ancient culture has only recently been revealed. Of course, the revelations that were uncovered back in 2017 are far from the only archaeological discoveries to be made in and around Tel Beersheba over the years. In 1969, for example, experts began excavating a site located some 5 miles east of navel. Its location is thought to be near the heart of the original biblical city, as well as biblical links. Excavations have revealed something else about Tel Beersheba. The region has been inhabited since around the 4th millennium BC, and as such, the city is a veritable hotbed of archaeological treasures. But like many places, this corner of Israel is changing fast, putting its fascinating heritage at risk. As part of a scheme to protect the region's historical treasures, the Israel Antiquities Authority, or IAEA, began conducting emergency excavations in Beersheba in 2017. And in the neighborhood of Navel, they certainly found something worth protecting. It was a relic so valuable that the organization commissioned an extensive study that would take years to complete. In navel, experts from Tel Aviv University and the Geological Survey of Israel joined forces with the IAEA to excavate the fascinating site. And what they found confirmed the groundbreaking nature of the initial find in September 2020. They eventually published the results of their study in the Journal of Archaeological Science Reports. So what had these archaeologists found beneath the unassuming streets of navel? According to the study, they had uncovered what could be the earliest example of a technology that would go on to change the world. Here, artisans fine-tuned the process that would ultimately launch humanity into its next age. What the archaeologists found, it was revealed is believed to be the first example of a furnace used for smelting copper or found anywhere in the world. They uncovered an entire workshop dedicated to the technology, which would have been exceptionally advanced for its time. But what exactly is the significance of this find? When humans first discovered copper ore, experts believe they were content with hammering the material and using it to make attractive green-hued ornaments. But after millennia had passed, they began to wonder what else they could do with this substance. Eventually, they began melting it inside pottery vessels known as crucibles, extracting pure metal from the ore for the first time. The real revelation came, however, when humans invented the furnace, allowing them to smelt large amounts of copper ore. And now archaeologists have located one of the very earliest unknown examples of this game-changing technology in Tel Beersheba. In fact, according to the study, numerous examples from the same period had been discovered across the biblical city. Of course, this discovery is not concrete evidence that furnaces originated in Tel Beersheba, but representing as it does as the earliest permanent and non-portable example ever found, it highlights just how advanced the guest solutions were for their time. And as such, it has shed new light on how this ancient society functioned towards the end of the Neolithic era. The excavation revealed evidence of domestic production from the Chalcolithic period about 6,500 years ago. The IAEA's Talia Abulafia told the news website Vice.org in October 2020. The surprising finds include a small workshop for smelting copper with shards of a furnace, a small installation made of tin in which copper ore was smelted, as well as a lot of copper slag. According to the study, the workshop at navel produced metal from copper ore in 2 phases. First, it seems or would be heated inside the furnace before being transferred to a crucible where it would be further purified. But the specific details of the process would have been regarded as highly valuable knowledge at the time, kept a closely guarded secret from prying eyes. Historically, Furnaces have typically been built close to the mines, which produce the ore for smelting, but it never knew things was different. Analysis of the resulting metal's chemical signature revealed that raw materials were hauled to the site from another location, Wadifane, some 60 miles to the east. So why the long journey? Although they cannot be sure, experts suspect that this decision was made to keep valuable knowledge about the process under wraps. Speaking to FIS, Professor Erez Ben Yosef, who worked on the study, explained, "It is important to understand that the refining of copper was the high-tech of that period. There was no technology more sophisticated than that in the whole of the ancient world. And just like those working at the forefront of industry today, the metalworkers of Tel Beersheba did not want their secrets to getting out." Then Yosef continued, "Tossing lumps of ore into a fire will get you nowhere. You need certain knowledge for building special furnaces that can reach very high temperatures while maintaining low levels of oxygen." And so experts have theorized the guests' millions built their furnaces far away from the mines, where their ovens could be watched over by a small select group who guarded such precious knowledge. According to Ben Yosef, at the beginning of the metallurgical revolution, the secret of metalworking was kept by guilds of experts. All over the world, we see metalworkers' quarters within calculated settlements, like the neighborhood we found in Tel Beersheba. Thanks for watching. I hope you have enjoyed the video. Give this video a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.